Jamboard, a spelling assignment by Alice Lee. Jamboard is a Google Interactive whiteboard, and my second grade students were working on ER words. I created a rubric. The rubric looked at the content, which was spelling the ER words appropriately, visual appeal, how the jam looked, color, design, and space, and mechanics, that the sentences were free of grammatical errors. I also left space for a comment. I think this was highly engaging because, especially during COVID days, it was hard for kids to collaborate, and Jamboard gave them an opportunity to work with a partner. I scored myself 7 out of 10 on the learning target, which was did they learn how to spell and the meaning of the words, and a 7 out of 10 on 21st century skills, which was based on creating the sentences, collaborating, and being creative with the pictures, background, and color. I teach second grade. We have one-to-one iPads, and this worked well because they could collaborate from 6 feet apart. Since hindsight is 2020, discuss what you would do to change how you assessed this work. In the future, I would have the rubric in advance so that the students could score themselves. I think they would make corrections on their work if they had the rubric in advance. Down the line, I would also have them score a friend. For some of the more advanced students, I would have them create their own list of words to work on, possibly some from their reading that they don't know how to spell or don't know the meaning of. Cassidy and Piper rock. Well, they did a great job. They did a great job with spelling their ER words and putting them in sentences. It's also visually appealing. They scored an 11 out of 12, and I said, great job, Piper and Cassidy. Nice presentation and use of spelling words. But I let them know that there's no need to put a punctuation mark after a single word, and that's where I placed them in a 3 for mechanics. So Alana and Haley, they did a great job on the ER words. They did a great job working on those spelling words, but they have some other things to work on that I noted in the rubric. They used an inappropriate use of color, design, and space because it's very difficult to read. And they had frequent and difficult to read on their sentences due to mechanical errors. They need to work on their spelling. Addison and Molly, they did a great job on their ER words and their sentences, and they scored a 12 out of 12. They represented all the words, their pictures and their colors looked great, and their sentences were perfect. And they wrote the sentence, "We are super together," and I agreed. Cam and Tucker did a great job, but I noted in the rubric that they need to work on contractions. On 2 different occasions, they used theirs without the apostrophe S. And also, I think they meant we're here instead of we're here. So they just have a little work to do that I noted under mechanics. So they scored an 11 out of 12. Egan and Jameson did a super job. A couple little errors that I noted in the rubric, but they did a beautiful presentation. They just need to work on the word servant and the alert. It may either be that they needed an exclamation point as if it was a big announcement, or maybe more words to make a longer sentence. So a couple things to work on. Now, I modified for Eben and Gunnar. They are really working on reading the words and spelling the words. So I had them just writing the words for practice and then reading them back to both me and to each other. So I said they did an appropriate use of the ER words because they spelled the pattern correctly, and they did a nice presentation, and there were minimal mechanical errors. I just noted that they need to notice when it's an L, a lowercase l, or a lowercase I. So Jamboard for this spelling assignment was super. It's an opportunity to work on spelling words. It's great because kids absolutely love working with a partner. They love collaborating, and that makes it engaging. It worked well on those learning targets, the 21st century skills, and they were able to be 6 feet apart when they worked on it. I would make those 3 modifications that I would have them use the rubric prior to the assignment, score a friend, and the extension activity for the more advanced students.